Guam 2016. What we own, what we have, what we share. United Voice of the Pacific.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&D.
KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia for over 75 years. Matson Navigation, proud sponsor of Festback 2016, Cars Plus, Dodge Challenger, the undisputed champion, IP&E, fueling excellence, McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, Pacific Solar, and Chuck E. Cheese's Guam, where all games are just one token.
The legislature acts on legislation to pay the hospital's outstanding power bills.
The Tomorrow Land Trust Commission taking heat for the commercial leasing of property.
And the education agency is finally on its way to making schools a lot more secure. If you're joining us on Guam or anywhere in the world, Hafaday, and thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm Jason Salas alongside Sabrina Salas-Matanani. And before we get to the very contentious situation involving the Guam Memorial Hospital, we do have breaking news.
This just into the newsroom. More people have been indicted in the multi-million-dollar healthcare fraud case involving Guam Medical Transport, or GMT. The latest to face federal charges are Clifford Trumake, co-owner and president of GMT, and his son Nicholas, who serves as an executive assistant. Also indicted today was co-owner and vice president Kimberly Connor.
Now, the three, along with a pair of other managers who have already entered plea agreements, are accused of scamming the federal government of millions of dollars in Medicare and TRICARE payments, specifically submitting $30 million in claims and receiving $11 million in payments. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Shoemakes and Connor used the proceeds from the scam to take vacations to places like Hawaii, Europe, Australia, and Alaska. They have also been accused of using the money to buy homes, make utility as well as car payments, and other personal expenses. The three are scheduled to be arraigned in district court on the 26th.
In our top story now, with the disconnection deadline looming for Guam Memorial Hospital's inability to pay its utility bills, your elected senator stepped up to the plate and came up with a solution to ensure that Guam's only public hospital isn't cut off.
Nestor Lecanto is here, and he's got a recap of the action on session floor to keep GMH online.
Bree and Jason, senators took quick action today to avert the cutoff of critical services to the Guam Memorial Hospital. Legislation was passed unanimously to pay the hospital's utility bills.
GWA and GPA have both been very accommodating to the hospital.
The bill introduced by Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz identifies funding to cover the hospital's more than $1.1 million overdue water and power bills. A required public hearing was waived by Speaker Judy Wonpat, citing a clear and present danger to public health. Cruz says he advised utility officials ahead of time of his plan for emergency legislation.
Informally, I have called everybody and said, this is going to be passed today, or I'm hoping it's going to be passed today. Please don't issue the letter and don't do anything tomorrow morning until we see what happens.
The Waterworks Authority had threatened a service cutoff by Thursday, but agreed to extend the deadline to Friday pending legislative action.
Even if the water was just going to be turned off for 10 minutes, that was unacceptable. And so I thought, since the administration is willing to admit that there's $1.8 million in the Healthy Futures Fund, and since this is appropriate for appropriation to the hospital for its operations, I wanted this amount of money to go pay off both bills completely.
The Cruz measure would pay the money directly to GWA and GPA instead of the hospital.
All right, Nestor, well done. Now you out there in TV land or the internet can join in the conversation about this issue on Facebook. Just hit our fan page and add your comment to what's already been a very lively thread.
That's right. Senators also, in the meantime, passed several other bills, one that prohibits bonus pay to unclassified workers, another that funds a pilot program to support a growing Korean tourist market, also a bill to ban smoking in bars and provide increased enforcement of the so-called Notasha Protection Act, a measure to fund repair of the Umatic Ridge Towers, and a series of bills that transfer various lots reserved by the Education Department to the Tomorrow Land Trust Commission for residential and agricultural leasing.
Now we're going to stay with the hospital's financial woes now. As we told you last night, the GMH has lost hundreds of thousands of dollars due to double payments on its technology system. And for an agency already inundated with debt, the overlook has exacerbated financial problems, leading to action by GMH's management advisory team. Isa Baza met with them this morning and brings you the very latest.
But also designed.
More than $1 million is down the drain after the Guam Memorial Hospital was double billed for technology systems.
We've reported, prior finding that there were two incompatible systems running at the same time.
This meant GMH could only bill $500,000 instead of $3 million every day. But advisory team spokesperson and Bureau of Statistics and Plans Director Will Castro said the implications were even greater than expected.
We were able to discover that the hospital has, in fact, over several years, been paying for not just one technology system, but two. And the second system was being billed, I think, as far back as 2012 to the tune of $24,000 a month. So that comes up to about roughly $1.4 million over a 5-year period.
But what's most shocking about this recent revelation is that the GMH senior management had known about the issue for years.
To the credit of hospital staff, it's established, it's a matter of record that they've raised these concerns to senior management. And although I can't speak for why prior management did not act on it, I can tell you that upon the release and the confirmation of the findings that we've been paying for two systems, Governor Cabo immediately ordered that payments be made and that certain actions be taken immediately to stop the unnecessary bleeding of cash in this particular regard.
Meanwhile, the hospital's chronic financial problems are on the rise. Aside from lagging utility bill payments, Chief Financial Officer Benita Manglotna confirmed the hospital still has over $20 million in vendor payables and owes over $2 million to the government of Guam Retirement Fund. Castro said the hospital and Adelup are working to find a quick fix.
Not only are we able now to address the fact that we can save the hospital $24,000 a month by retiring a legacy system, Guam may further qualify for $3.8 million in reimbursable expenses for upgrades made to its technology system.
Castro said the team meets bi-weekly and its next meeting is set for tomorrow. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Isa Baza.
Thanks, Isa. The Chamorro Land Trust Commission held a public hearing last night in Dededo to present its inventory of properties up for commercial lease. Several residents showed up, however, arguing the land is not supposed to go to the highest bidder, but to the Chamorro people.
I feel like I'm an auctioneer.
It was a tough sell for CLTC Administrator Michael Borja.
Are we really faced with no other alternatives?
The Chamorro Land Trust Commission rolled out their inventory, or 600 acres of commercial properties that are up for lease. The idea is to use revenues from the commercial leases to help fund much-needed land surveys and infrastructure for residential and agricultural applicants who have been waiting decades.
This is what we've been trying to do for a long time. I mean, build, it costs money to put infrastructure into some place, and when we build a community, we want to build a community of homes. And in order to get a developer to do it, we have to actually engage in a commercial activity there. So that's the reason why it's going up as commercial, for commercial development.
Attorney Therese Terlahi was one of many who showed up to the public hearing who expressed her opposition to commercial leasing of CLTC properties. She was one of 3 attorneys who 20 years ago successfully represented the late Senator Angel Santos and others in a lawsuit against the governor of Guam at the time to force the implementation of the Chamorro Land Trust after it lay dormant for 20 years.
Since the opening for applications 2 decades ago, over 10,000 people applied for residential agricultural leases. To this day, there remain, I believe, 8,000.
Terlahi says the law is clear in that the best use of the land is to grow residential and agricultural communities, not to be leased to the highest bidder for commercial purposes.
While the commissioners should invest wisely, the goal of the trust is not, never was profit.
The Chamorro Land Trust Commission, however, hopes by making a profit, it will help CLTC applicants.
Right now, if you try to do that, I just gave you a lot out here with nothing in there, you're going to have to find a way to hook up your power and your water at great cost. And in some cases, we've had people come to us saying it's going to cost me over $100,000 just to run those 6-inch water line and install the power poles to get the water and power.
The Chamorro Land Trust Commission is accepting public comments. You're encouraged to submit them via email or visit their offices in the ITC building in Tamuni.
Terlahi, as well as others, suggested the Chamorro Land Trust Commission cut down on its expenses and use the money it pays for operations and rent to fund land surveys and other requirements for the commission to fulfill its mandates.
Utilities headlines now as the Guam Power Authority wants to bring back all of its old combustion turbine units to use as eventual backup systems for the island-wide power system. In a working session with the CCU, GPA General Manager John Beneventi says these CT units are the quickest to bring online should a major baseload unit trip off. GPA is now relying on 40 megawatts of temporary generation from the Agreco units, but only on a limited basis. They seek approval of a performance management contract for the CT unit for its restoration and its maintenance.
There's a need to recover data to CT 1 and 2 to be able to, decommission or deactivate the Agreco units after 1 year. There were 2 bidders that came in. One was Temis and another group, and Temis was the lowest bidder. And basically, there's the fixed management fee for each of the next 5 years. It's a 5-year contract option for 3 options.
The deal is worth some $5 million and includes support for the Jigo as well as Machechi combustion turbines.
Still to come on your news leader, the United States welcomes its newest citizens.
And later, our Ken Quintanilla continues his great escape to Shanghai. Stay tuned, everybody. Words and images coming up right after the break.
Stay connected to the world at home from everywhere you are. Get the KUAM News app for the latest in local news, videos, sports, streaming, Isla 63 AM, weather, and more. Available for free now at the iTunes App Store or Google Play.
Wow! You too can win in Calvo's Insurance Ride Your Dreams giveaway. If you are a Calvo's Insurance home or personal auto customer, you qualify to enter by texting LOYAL to 2015. And if you need an insurance quote, text quote to 2015 for a chance to win in our grocery giveaway. Thank you, KUAM, for placing your trust in Calvo's. Insure with Calvo's today and ride your dreams to reality.
One of our main goals at Payless Supermarkets is to build a healthier, happier community. So in 2016, we want to introduce the redesigned Health Smart program. Meet our registered dietitian.
Half a day, I'm Rose.
She's here to assist you with nutritional education and simple ways to make healthier decisions while shopping. Together, we've created 7 health-related categories, and we'll be featuring products from each category every month. Look for these Health Smart labeled items on our shelves to help you find healthier choices for your dietary needs. You can also sign up for weekly store tours with Rose, where you can learn helpful nutritional information about Health Smart items. There will also be special deals after each tour or discounts from partnering gyms. Spaces are limited, so sign up at our service counters or at paylessmarkets.com. And if you're looking for some healthy ideas, visit us on Start Smart Mondays, where our Jackie Boots will be sampling delicious healthy products and recipes you can try at home. We hope to help you so that the healthy choice is also an easy choice for a healthier, happier you.
Your favorites will always be here. But this one won't last long.
Try the new Mushroom Swiss Quarter Pounder, now for a limited time. Get the meal for only $6.99.
It's Triple J Auto Group's Drive Now and Pay Later event going on now. Buy the car of your dreams and make no payment for 90 days. Get in an all-new Honda, Acura, Ford, Mazda, Lincoln, Volvo, or Kia and pay nothing for 3 months on approved credit. Plus, we've got unbelievable savings in all remaining 2015s and many 2016s. Now's the time to buy during Triple J's Drive Now, Pay Later event. Visit us online at carsguam.com and get pre-approved instantly. Download our free app on Apple and Google stores. Some conditions apply. See dealer for details. Triple J Auto Group. Customers first.
Follow KUAM News on Twitter or become a fan on Facebook to get all your daily headlines from Guam's News Network.
We are back as Primetime continues on KUAM, and stricter safety measures are now in effect at Southern High School following another bomb threat to the Santa Rita campus. In total, there have been 5 such threats to public schools in the past 2 weeks, as just after 11 this morning, students and faculty were evacuated from the campus after a bomb threat was called into the 911 service. The sweep was conducted at the Southern High campus, with the all-clear given about 2 hours later. Deputy Superintendent Chris Anderson confirmed effective now and until further notice, bomb sweeps will occur twice daily. Campus access will be tightly controlled, and K-9 units will be authorized to search lockers, vehicles, and confiscated bags. The full list of security measures is available on the web at KUAM.com or on your mobile device in the KUAM News mobile app. If you happen to know who is behind the recent threats, please call Guam Crime Stoppers. Their number is 477-HELP. That number, of course, 477-4357.
And that brings to light our next story, as the rash of bomb threats in public schools from Sanchez to Southern may have been avoided if proper monitoring equipment were in place. But of course, that's not been the case.
So today saw some very positive light at the end of a very long tunnel, as the government's painfully drawn out crusade to install security camera systems finally came to an end. And creating safer schools, once thought of to be a far off goal, is now an objective that's happily on the horizon.
It felt like a marathon to get this procurement done.
But the Department of Education is finally nearing the finish line.
It's really time to celebrate the fact that for the first time we'll be able to take these resources and be able to put them to good use in protecting our schools.
DOE Superintendent John Fernandez is referencing the Secure Our Schools Act invitation for bid being approved by the Office of the Attorney General. That IFB provides for the installation of security systems at all government-owned public schools, a process that's taken 3 years too long.
I'm very happy that over the last few months, we've been working very closely with GSA to just get through this final stage and make sure that it actually happens and it can actually be a reality for our schools.
According to General Services Agency advisor Robert Kono, his agency issued the bid award to vendor G4S Security in the amount of more than $798,813. After years of work, Kono said, quote, "We are grateful the process worked as it's supposed to, and we hope it will ultimately benefit DOE students."
We're anticipating hopefully doing about 5 or 6 schools simultaneously. And so over every 60 days, we hope to get 5 or 6 schools, completed. And based on that pace, that means that it'll probably be a full year to get all of our schools outfitted.
The process will start with schools that are the most vulnerable.
Those are the schools that have seen the most break-ins, thefts, vandalism, over the past few years. So I'm looking forward to getting started.
For now, there are a few minor hurdles left, including completing paperwork and providing a performance bond. But Fernandez hopes the process will be expedited so installation can begin as soon as possible.
If we can assure our families that their schools are safe, it'll be better for all of us.
The privilege of being able to call oneself a citizen of the United States of America was bestowed on nearly 36 grateful people today, originating from countries all over the globe. These people took the oath of citizenship, swearing to honor the principles of the country, in a special naturalization ceremony held in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And just like the civil rights champion, they swore to uphold the rights and responsibilities that come with being Americans. Department of Education Superintendent John Fernandez gave the keynote address.
First order of business, Madam Clerk. Name changes are also granted by the court. At this time, please.
You are becoming who you want to be by taking this step. You are born, but you are not locked into the circumstances. You are not locked into the situation into which you were born. And I tell that to all our students, we all become who we want to be by our hard work, our effort, our goals, and our dreams. And that's what you're doing today. You step forward. You said, this is my goal. I need to do what I want to do, what I need to do to get there. And you are becoming the people, the person you want to be. And as a citizen of our country, I welcome you.
In total, 34 people were sworn in as our newest U.S. citizens. They hailed from countries such as India, Japan, the People's Republic of China, the Philippines, South Korea, and Taiwan.
Well, a new crop of directors has been elected for the Guam Chamber of Commerce, and the roster features some very familiar and very capable faces from the island's private sector. Chairing the board is our friend, Laura Lindekanai, the Senior VP and Regional Manager for First Hawaiian Bank. Bobby Shringy, another friend of ours with Moylan's Insurance, was elected Vice Chair, with Joe Arnott of Deloitte & Touche named Secretary as well as Treasurer. Congratulations.
Switching gears, here's Issa Baza with this week's installment of how we can all be more environmentally conscious. It's Think Green.
Think Green is presented by Pacific Solar and Photovoltaics, keeping Guam green one roof at a time. Call 632-4002 for more information.
People throughout the island, from Jigo to Umatic and all points in between, have taken it upon themselves to help keep our island paradise just that. And several Guam businesses are encouraging Guam residents to get involved, be responsible, and have fun doing it.
20 years ago, we launched our first Kick the Fat 5K. Today, we are the largest 5K in Island with 4,000 participants. And our next 5K is on March 19th, and we are raising the bar by adding a 10K.
In similar fashion, the planners behind the recent Trench Fest concert are calling on their fellow Guamanians to work together to keep the island pristine.
We'd also like to encourage everyone to come out to the beach cleanup, which is the weekend after Trench Fest. We will be releasing details as soon as they become available. We are sponsored by GVB. We'd also like to formally thank them for helping us with the beach cleanup. And it's also another way that Trench Fest gives back to the community, not only concerts, not only the rugby, but we do have a vested interest in keeping our island clean.
Both big ideas and small projects have been launched to foster the health and longevity of our environment. Every effort counts when it comes to sustaining a long and prosperous life for Mother Earth. For example, Kathy Scrow with Payless Supermarket says some of the simplest steps include reducing waste by using reusable water bottles and reusable bags.
We take our corporate responsibility seriously because we value the sustainability of our island and our people. Over 20 years ago, Payless introduced reusable bags to our customers, and we provided an incentive to use it. Today, our Mission Zero Bag campaign has diverted over 5 million plastic bags from being dispersed into our community.
Companies making an environmental commitment also realize dual benefits by setting themselves apart from the competition. Research shows that customer preferences have been trending toward companies that are environmentally conscious. So it's truly a win-win for everyone involved. With this week's Think Green, I'm Isa Baza.
Think Green is presented by Pacific Solar and Photovoltaics, keeping Guam green one roof at a time. Call 632-4002 for more information.
Well, our guy Dave Delgado is on deck, and he's got your sports report. And later, our other guy, Ken Quintanilla, continues to soak in the culture of Shanghai, China in his ongoing series, The Great Escape.
Love your flat screen all over again with enhanced HD TV programming from GTA. Explore over 100 HD channels with the sharpest picture and sound quality you can only get from Guam's leader in high definition. That's 3 times more channels than Docomo. Watch live news coverage like never before. Experience the thrill of the game in the comfort of your own living room. With so many HD networks, movies, cooking shows, comedies, you'll never want to leave your couch. GTA, your island, your HD network.
Insure your auto or home with Alpha Insurers and get more chances to win awesome prizes with Alpha's Switch, Spin, and Win. Alpha Insurers will draw 3 winners every week and 1 monthly grand prize winner to spin Alpha's prize wheel for a chance to win an iPad mini, flat screen TV, gas cards, and so much more. Just switch or renew your auto or home insurance with Alpha Insurers and you automatically qualify. It's that easy. Call 477-8701 or 637-8833 for more details, and you could be a winner for Alpha's Switch, Spin, and Win.
New year, new rides. Cars Plus New Year's sales event. For a limited time only, make no payments for 90 days. That's right, no payment for 90 days. The spacious award-winning Hyundai Santa Fe saved $4,000. The redesigned Hyundai Tucson saved $4,000. The luxurious Genesis by Hyundai saved $7,500. Now's the time to buy from Cars Plus during our New Year sales event. And if we mention no payment for 90 days, get to Cars Plus and Mighty today before your favorite Hyundai is sold. Pre-apply at carsplusguam.com. Cars Plus, driven by you.
Ruby Tuesday now gives you more for lunch. Endless trips to the Fresh Garden Bar, plus add-ons, mini combinations, and even new meal options. It's the new lunchtime menu, available Monday to Friday until 2 p.m., only at Ruby Tuesday.
What's up, Guam? I'm Dave Delgado. Welcome to KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. On the show tonight, Budweiser Football League highlights from the Angels and Eagles game. I have boys high school basketball from Teason High, along with some station news of I-94's Chris malfunction in Barnett. Check it out.
Hey, you got to catch that golden fever. It's contagious. Catch it tomorrow. Foodies in Barragata, 12-1 with the stations at KUAM. Come by, rep your favorite NFL team, rock that jersey, hat, whatever. We might even get some NFL trivia on, okay? So put on your NFL thinking helmet. It's the Golden Fever. The stations at KUAM getting you ready for Super Bowl 50.
The Micronesia Renewable Energy House Angels beat the 76 Circle K Island Eagles 14-12 in Budweiser Football League action from the UOG field. Angels wide receiver Isu Mendiola caught a pair of touchdown passes from quarterback Steve Phillips. The Eagles used their running game to keep the chains moving, while J.C. Carrion and Kelvin Coney hooked up on several occasions to move the ball downfield. A late interception thrown by Carrion would kill the Eagles' drive as they looked to regain the lead late in the fourth quarter. Action resumes this Saturday at the UOG field with the Silver Raiders taking on the Angels and the Black Raiders and Chiefs taken to the field on Sunday. Both games get underway at 2:30 in the afternoon. IIAAG boys high school basketball tipped off at various gyms around the island. The Teason High Titans played their first home game of the season in their newly built gym against the Father Duenas Friars. Teason High opened the game with back-to-back buckets to take a 4-1 lead minutes into the contest. The Friars defense started to force some turnovers late in the quarter. Devin Sudo with the steal dishes it off to Isaiah Sablon, who gets the left-handed finish to fall for 2 points. David Sakazaki pressing here, comes up with another steal and passes the ball down court to Isaiah Sablon, who drives to the basket and dumps it off to Tomas Calvo for the lay-in. Friars went on to win 64-28. In other games, Ukadu defeated Harvest. Guam High blew past Southern. St. John's edged out St. Paul. JFK slipped past Sanchez, and ND got the win over GW to start their season off at 1-0. The stations of KUAM present the Guam Loves Football Ultimate Party giveaway presented by Miller Lite. One lucky winner will win a party at their place for 20 people on game day Monday, February 8th. To enter, send a pic or short video of you celebrating your favorite sport, repping your favorite teams, or just showing us how much Guam loves football. Your creativity is encouraged. Send photos and videos to promotions at KUAM.com or use hashtag Guam Loves Football on your social media posts. The winner will be announced the first week in February. You must be 21 or older to enter. See KUAM.com for the official rules and regulations. Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
This is iPhone 6S. Not much has changed, except it feels different. Now you press lightly to peek and deeper to pop. It changes how easily you can peek a flight, check a post, search for dinner. Ooh, you guys are gonna love that place. You can find a getaway easier. Yeah, go there. And find music easier. Wait, are you listening to your own song?
No, I was, hello?
So pretty much everything you do feels different. And that's what's changed.
Pack your bags for the Nissan Super Giveaway. Nissan is going to fly one lucky person and their guest to San Francisco for Super Bowl 50. 3 nights hotel accommodations. Free admission to the Players Super Bowl tailgate party with a feast prepared by Food Network star Guy Fieri. And of course, 2 tickets to Super Bowl 50. Free entry coupons with any new vehicle. The Nissan Super Giveaway to Super Bowl 50. See your favorite salesperson for details.
A beautiful, healthy smile is an expression of confidence. The more confident you are about your smile, the more likely you are to fully express your feelings without having to worry about the way your teeth look.
Before cosmetic dentistry, I didn't smile as much. I didn't have the confidence, and it shows. And since I've had cosmetic dentistry done, I feel 10 times more confident. I make my initial introduction with a nice big smile and a handshake, And I just, feel like it really is a relationship builder, a nice warm smile. And it makes the clients and customers feel more comfortable with you, feeling confident. And they feel that you're not just there for business, that you're also there kind of as a friend as well. So, I mean, it's amazing how powerful a smile can be. A good smile.
Since your smile makes a significant impression on those around you, it is important that it makes the impression you want it to make.
Welcome back. Visiting any new country is not complete without indulging in a good purchase.
And for Shanghai, it boasts one of the great shopping areas in China. Our Ken Quintanilla and videographer Pete Anderson show you where to go in their great escape to Shanghai with United Airlines.
They say you haven't experienced Shanghai unless you go to the Nanjing Road pedestrian street. This area is both popular with visitors and locals, and it's easy to see why, as it's considered China's premier shopping street.
So this is the Nanjing Road from east to west. It's 600 meters long, and it's the biggest shopping area of Shanghai. From the total Nanjing Road is for 5 kilometers from the Peace Hotel all the way to the Jing'an Temple, formerly called the Bubbling Well Road, 5 kilometers with about 400 stores. But this main section in the middle is the mall.
Nanjing Road has become a great commercial district for China and allows you to take a shopping exhibition through large and modern shopping malls and various specialty shops. You can purchase clothes, shoes, cosmetics, jewelries, watches, glasses, food, home appliances, and various souvenirs.
And every day there will be about 1 or 2 million people
crossing this area
to come over to this area, and most of the visitors are from the other parts of China.
And while we came early in the day to avoid the crowds, at night it's a great place to visit even if you don't plan on shopping, to take in the sparkling lights. And if you like to shop, I'd recommend also heading to the Yu Garden Bazaar, located next to the Yu Garden area. Originally, there was just a temple built back in the 15th century, but today it's now the home to a lively market specializing in traditional Chinese arts and crafts. While there's an abundance of similar items throughout the bazaar, you might not be able to find them elsewhere throughout Shanghai. Here, you can find more than 100 different shops and restaurants if you're on the search for unique gifts and a taste of Shanghai. The bazaar also is surrounded by a maze of old laneways and alleys where locals live that, along with all the visitors, may make it easy to get lost. But it's all part of the adventure. And just as you can get a great bargain at the bazaar, we next show you a priceless view of the city as we continue our great escape to Shanghai.
All right, well, here is our end of the newscast tradition that we've been doing for a very long time and very happy to do so. We say happy birthday to the newest members of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
And we start off with happy birthday to Cohen, celebrating his 10th birthday with lots of love from mommy, daddy, great-grandma, Lulang, grandma Rai, and family.
All right, it is Hope Isabella Roberto's 12th birthday, and happy birthday wishes come from mom and dad, and we hope that Hope had a happy birthday.
Happy 6th birthday going out to Amaya Janae Cruz from the Familia.
It's also an 18th birthday to Pauline Kinto Masaharu. Happy birthday. Love always from mom, PJ, and your entire familia.
Happy birthday going out to Jeff Chevalier.
Chevalier, I believe.
Chevalier.
It is French.
French.
Chevalier.
Happy birthday from the family.
The very famous actor, Maurice Chevalier. That's true. And also happy birthday to Peregrine Jude Meskin. There's some wonderful names on the Cold Stone Crew Birthday Club tonight. So make sure that you register your birthday celebrant. Make them happy by sending them to us. Go to KUAM.com. Give us your photo, give us your name and their birthday, and we will mention it right here. And now, as we always do, we also want to say special Hafa-Day to the people who are joining us on our live stream on YouTube right now. Hafa-Day to everybody in Killeen, Texas. Lots of Chamorros in Killeen.
Nick Delgado was in Killeen, Texas.
Absolutely.
But now he's in New York reporting.
Yeah, so happy birthday to everybody. Hafa-Day to everybody in Killeen. Killeen, it's like 2 in the morning. Hafa-Day. Thanks for watching. Go to sleep.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&D.
The Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Good evening, Guam. I'm Jess Lujan. Welcome to episode 3 of The Buzz. And of course, again, my guest, Guam Attorney General Liz Barrett Anderson. Good evening, General. How you doing?
Oh, very good, Jess. Glad. Thank you for having me on 3
Well,
shows.
well, thank you. Plebiscite, medicinal marijuana. Let's talk about the consumer protection side of the house, because you're very aggressive in that as well. A lot of things to talk about.
Well, when I was Attorney General 25 years ago, I was instrumental in getting a consumer protection statute enacted. And I come back 25 years later, and I'm going, well, the office needs to do a little bit more, get more proactive. And I've actually returned a full division, the Consumer Protection Division. It's headed by Deputy Attorney General Fred Nishihira, and we have been handling so many issues. The tax theft, fraud issue. You know, a lot of our consumers in Guam have been getting letters from the IRS wanting to garnish their money because they owe income tax, and we understand it's a scam. So we're working on that. And I thought the best way to get out to the consumers, you know, what are our laws out there, and how do we protect ourselves, is to do that little radio, It's the Law. And I know it's not this station, but just yesterday I got an email from a lady, and she says, you know, I bought a car and it broke down on me in 30 days, couldn't get it repaired. I went back to the dealership, and they, because of the lemon law, gave me a new car. And so she was so happy. So little tidbits like that, including, especially, I'm sure a lot of us, including yourself, got gift certificates for the holidays.
Absolutely.
And the rule of that is if there's a date on it, the Federal Trade Commission says that the gift certificate is good for 5 years.
5 years.
If there's no date on it, it's good forever.
Forever.
Yeah, it's money.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, it's like giving cash, right?
It's like giving
you
cash.
spend a day, it's all gone. But I mean,
so I love the consumer issues.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, this is great, because I mean, you know, again, because of where we're at sometimes, and maybe years ago, maybe people took advantage, maybe companies, individuals took advantage of certain people because we're here, and we always hear the arguments about, well, because you live so far away from the United States, where we get the majority, and you know, of course, our shipping, the Jones Act situation. So you know, so the prices, of course, of consumables, whatever it may be, we import everything, it's going to be a lot higher. And okay, we've, I guess, pretty much succumbed to that already. We've accepted that. But you know, I mean, I know there are now some retail outlets out here now that said, hey, you know what? We don't price our products based on our destination of being on the boat. You know what? Whatever products we sell, whether it's winter products, whatever it may be, we sell it because it moves, and we rely on volume sales versus
supply and demand.
Yeah, versus again specific pricing for Guam. And we're gonna have to hire more people again to get the pricing out there. So it takes longer to be able to get our product and our goods on the shelves. And doing that, this one, you know, containers come in there, it's off the container onto the shelf. Pricing is already done in the central pricing occasion. So if some outlets can do that, price, you know, again, because they have maybe other outlets, I can understand, again, you know, specifically where you don't have national chains, right? So you can understand more of non-national chains only, you know, again, specific Guam, I can understand that. But national chains, international chains, they still give us, for example, I mean, yeah, we got to get this here, we got to get this from here, and we got to ship it and things like that. One of the things is fuel. We don't get it from the States. We get it from Singapore. From Singapore. I know and you know this, the regulations, the Clean Air Act in California is very strict. So it's very expensive to produce fuel in California. More expensive than producing the fuel that we get here because of all the restrictions they have. I'm going, okay, so you factor that in. Okay, you factor that, and let's talk about the price of bring it in through freight. I mean, again, through a container or a tanker, bring in fuel here. So why don't we just call it a wash then? If we call it a wash based on how much it costs to produce expensive fuel here and price of a tanker to bring it here. So let's call it a wash. Why is it that we're maybe $2 even more than over there if we call it a wash?
You know, Jesse, I have to say that, and my staff hears me say this, my management staff, déjà vu, which is translated from French is, I've seen it before. And when I was Attorney General before, I did go after the gas companies because it doesn't matter whether you're in Adelup, you're in EPEN, or you're at Airport Road. All the gas prices are the same.
Yeah.
You know, and the gas companies learned a very hard lesson from the late 70s when the United States Justice Department went after the gas companies for antitrust violation, right? So now what they do, the companies out here, there's always a leader, and that leader seems to be Mobil. Mobil's been here for a long, long time. And so there is no collusion that we've ever been able to see. They might take binoculars, and if Mobil goes up, the next day everyone else seems to go up. And I believe that 95% of all gas stations are company-owned gas stations as opposed to franchise or single-owned. I think the only one that's personally owned now, it used to be Martinez, but now it's Mr. Jackson. And so what happens is when a company decides to raise its price, all their stations, and there's no competition because they're all companies. They're all companies. And it's very difficult to go after, you're talking about going after the big giants. The giants are oil companies, airline companies, you know, carrier companies, big companies that
deep pockets
that protect their pricing, And when I went after the gas companies before, you know, the price kind of went down a little bit, but we couldn't prove
collusion.
Collusion, right? Collusion. And so when you're talking about prices, unless there's antitrust and collusion, then prices are determined by supply and demand. From the consumer protection aspect is our statutes protect against false advertisement and misrepresentation. So that's where our office comes in. If you have a store that has this 75% sale sign in their window, and that's been there for an entire year, well, obviously that's not a sale price anymore, and that's false advertisement. So that's where our office can come in and protect consumers. But with regard to these big pricing disparities, it angers everybody. It angers me.
And I understand that because I mean, I was reading on the paper a while back here in regards to, of course, a former attorney, actually the first attorney general of Guam, elected attorney general, I'm sorry, Doug Moylan. We talked that he was going after that as well, and he says, hey, you know, individuals, they probably won't have an opportunity because I mean you're limited in your funding and maybe even government because these oil companies are international companies, okay, and they're very deep pockets and that's their expertise.
The individual can't do this. There's no cause of action. For
cause of action. So that being said, I said, but you know what? We're not helpless in a sense. We have our lawmakers. We're lawmakers. We can look at certain things, and I mean, the only thing we have to look at basically is the unintended consequences that we may have. And sometimes we intend to do the right thing, but there are the other reaches that maybe affect other companies. But maybe some of the things that maybe our lawmakers can look at is that if you're an importer, if you are a wholesaler, that maybe you cannot you know, like own a station as well, and they'll have to be privately owned. You know, something like that. Anyway, that you can do on the local side, and maybe other like as well. Like you can own maybe more than 4 or 5 stations. You know, but again, you know, then you become a I guess oligopoly.
Well, our statute, our consumer protection statute, was enacted when I was AG before. I come back and it's in dire need of updating. It hasn't been touched in 20 years. and it's based on deceptive and false advertisement. CNMI has a far better statute because theirs is more recent, and it allows the Attorney General of CNMI to go after companies that engage in unfair trade practices, which is a little different from deceptive.
And the CNMI is exempted from the Jones Act. Be right back.
This program is brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.
Sunday barbecues are better when there's more than enough bandwidth to share. Sign up for GTA Fiber to the neighborhood today and enjoy faster internet on more devices. GTA, your island, your faster fiber network.
While hundreds of homeless seek shelter every day, when memories fade like old photographs, and families struggle to care for loved ones with special needs, as young children are caught in the storm of abuse and neglect, we are there. For over 30 years, we have helped Guam's victims of life when there was nowhere else to turn. You can help too by giving $1 a month. God bless you.
The Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Consumer protection is our topic tonight, of course, with Guam Attorney General Liz Barrett-Anderson. And consumer protection, recently you teamed up with CNMI Attorney General. You wrote,
Ed Madhusan.
Yes, you wrote a letter to United in regards to for the folks who fly United. And they fly back to the U.S. mainland, basically. You know that what was eliminated was the meals that were eliminated between the Guam and
more than just the meals. They
bags,
the free bag.
Bags, yeah.
We used to get 2 free luggages, and then the second bag is now charged.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with your plight, basically, in a bigger scale, in a sense.
On a bigger
because,
scale,
in a bigger scale, because I tried to get an exemption for foreign airlines.
You were going after rates to try and bring.
I was going after rates. I'm glad that again the consumer protection part of the AG's office is picking up on this, because again these are things that happen because they can. Because they can. But let me ask you this, because when we fly, our tickets are boarding passes say international, INT, basically, right? INT or something, whatever it is. Yeah, okay. Which means international. Although United came out and says, well, this is a domestic flight, so therefore no domestic flights are served meals, and of course the bag allowances and things like that. So all those things applicable to domestic flights, the 1 hour flights, even Hawaii, the 5 hour flight, that's domestic. But us, man, I mean, this is a full day's work and some, okay? And that's a domestic meal. Through your efforts, we're able now to get
snacks.
Yeah,
what are those snacks? Have you flown lately? I hope it's more than just pretzels.
Yeah, but anyway, that being said, AG, in the consumer part of this, are we looking, because in ticketing prices, right? I mean, you really have to look into the pricing and what structure they are, because one of the things that we probably should look at is what pricing structure falls under domestic and we get charged with this. What pricing structure is under the international side? If you're international, this is what it is. Because if it's all domestic side, if we really are domestic side and categories of that, then we should have any charges related to international. Anything international, all be domestic. But if we have a crossover all the time, it's like, well, when it benefits the company, we're domestic. When it benefits the company to be international, then it's international. Obviously, the federal government has deemed us as international because we have to, between Guam and Honolulu, in order for us to get on the plane, we have to pre-clear
For immigration
immigration.
and transportation purposes.
You don't
yes.
do that from Hawaii, from LA to Honolulu, because it's domestic or any other domestic flight. You don't have to clear, again, their immigration situation, but we are. So we are, again, looked upon or categorized as an international destination.
And I think you just hit the nail on the head. Is the airline looking at this route as domestic and imposing upon the customers of Guam domestic policies and standards? Or is it international, which I agree with you. I look at my boarding pass and it says international. So what I and Ed want to do is, and our discussion is going to continue with United, is to get them to say it very clearly. If this is in fact an international flight, then treat us as an international flight. And every other international flight that United flies, including Micronesia, meals are provided, the extra baggage is provided. But at what stage did the company decide to treat it as domestic when we never were in the past? So our discussions with United continue. One of their chief operating officers is coming out in January, and I have to give Sam Shanghai a lot of credit. Immediately after he got the letter, he called upon Ed and I, and we had a meeting in Saipan, a very good meeting. And he recognized actually some of the concerns of Saipan were even more serious than Guam's. And he indicated an individual is coming out in January to continue those discussions. I just am so disappointed that the merger has gone in the wrong direction of lessening, customer service than improving customer service. And both General Manabusan and I, we want United to improve customer service. So I don't want to engage in a battle with them. It's let us understand exactly what you classify us as, and let's talk to the federal government. Is this in fact correct or true?
I got one solution to that. The best way to rectify without government intervention is competition.
Let's go there.
Let's go there. Absolutely. No. I think it's fantastic that we're going down this road, and hopefully down the road here we'll get some again rectifying or changing again, as you say, the rules and regs back then, and they need updating. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, some of these things, of course, in regards to the restrictions like cabotage, and also go way back, way before even the consumer that need definitely updating.
Yeah, and Jesse, I want to applaud you for all your efforts in the past on that. And you came up against so many brick walls. And I'm not at that stage in my tenure as Attorney General to take on those brick walls. I'd just like to be able to say, couldn't we go back to the service we've always had? Something as simple as that.
And again, I want to make a recommendation. I hope the lawmakers are listening right now, as we did earlier in regards to the, again, wholesalers and things like that. And one of the things they would consider as well is this, maybe in a local statute that said, hey, if you're going to be flying, if you're going to be originated from Guam, or again, your destination will be for Guam, is that if you're flying more than 3 hours, maybe 3 hours, that you have to serve a meal. That's one of the things that, I mean, I hate to have to do that because I'm not heavy in government regulation, and things like that. But when you're not treated as equal, when you look at other destinations that again, I mean, the classification is wrong. So in our side, in what we have to do to reciprocate, to answer that, the ill treatment. And I don't want to heavy
the meals. And if you don't have a credit card or an ATM, you cannot pay by cash. I don't understand. I recognize you don't like to have cash in people's hands, but that's not the customer's problem. So if someone says, I have $10 or I have $20, can I buy something? I'm sorry, you can't.
Yeah.
Even simple things as that. So merger, especially with regard to services, rates is one thing, but merger with regard to services just was more detrimental
You
to
know,
us.
and General, I on a daily basis where I work out, you have flight attendants that stay down there, and every day I see them, and we talk about this, and they feel as bad as well because they do what they can to accommodate, what they can, but they also have a supervisor that has to. I mean, they can get fired or disciplined, for again given a meal or something. And what they had before. And that is one thing they said, I mean, we want to do that. They're not looking, we're doing this, but we can lose our jobs in doing
and those
so.
people you're talking about,
These are flight attendants.
These are flight attendants. These are employees of United currently that used to be with Continental that are vested in our island. And I'm sure they
actually they were United employees. That they weren't Continental employees. They were United because
some of them are Continental.
Yeah. No. Well, the ones I'm talking to are the ones that are Hawaii based. They're Hawaii based. They're United. They were never Continental. They're United, but they merged, so they're the ones that fly the Guam, Honolulu.
Well, the ones I'm talking about are our local Continental employees that United kept on. And I'm sure they would love to see services returned.
I mean, I fly to the Philippines 3 hours. They give me a meal, no problem. Smaller plane, bigger plane going from here to Honolulu. I mean, no, it's domestic.
Well,
I mean,
but I want to be able to say that the one thing that General Manabusan and I are interested in is the continued dialogue. Because I think dialogue is important. And General Manabusan and I in February will be having some nice dialogues with DOJ and Department of Transportation.
I tell you, I mean, from what my experience in cabotage, I'm willing to donate my time to be with the two of you to help with the costs.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Be right back.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
Welcome back to another edition of Information Guam, the show that tests your knowledge of where to find what you need on the island. Let's begin. Team YPI is up and Emmy's starting out. This book has information on various business classifications from A to Z. It is easily accessible via online and has an app for smartphones to let your fingers do the walk-in.
What is the Guam phone book?
Correct. Next, we have Ed. Is still used by more than 75% of the adult population.
What is the Guam phone book?
Very good. Doris, if you answer correctly, your team wins the game. It's a publication that costs pennies to advertise in comparison to any other print media, and it gets greater return for investment for businesses.
What is the Guam phone book?
That's absolutely correct. Our winners are Team Yellow Pages Inc.
You too can be a winner and gain a wealth of information from the 2016 Guam phone book available today. Be on the lookout for your copy or stop by our office and pick one up.
When you come to Chuck E. Cheese's, you can see what's new.
New fun! New games! New cousins! What's new? New awesomeness!
Where a kid can't be a kid.
The Buzz with Jess Lujan.
General Barrett Anderson, what does 2016 look like for your office? I know you have your plate full, but I know you bought some balutans now. So what does 2016 look like for?
2016 is going to be our effort to put into implementation our 3-year strategic plan.
Okay.
That strategic plan, we have 6 focus areas. One of them is to strengthen the role of the elected Attorney General for the territory.
Define it, right?
Define it. The other aspects are more internal, building our infrastructure for the employees, creating a better management system. I'm an educator. I think training is going to be a hallmark of my tenure as Attorney General. I want to be able to offer training in so many areas of government procurement, employee management to all the government of Guam employees. I'm looking to bring some training for the notaries for Guam. We're at full staff, hopefully full staff at our prosecutor's office. We are improving our computer system. So I am the gopher, I say. I go for whatever my office needs to do its best job for the people of
So at least you don't have a retention problem at this point, right? In regards to staffing and all that, you're not losing them to well that's great, because I know there was I mean early on that was a problem, not necessarily retention, but to be able to entice again attorneys.
We've been very lucky, Jess, and we've actually been able to attract some very senior and good attorneys to our office. Now my role is to maintain them, give them their resources to be able to do a good job.
Well, fantastic. Well, again, good luck this year. I'm sure we'll be hearing from you more often.
Sure.
Do we have? I mean, you're an elected official. You don't have a state of the Attorney General. You don't have that. They don't give you that.
No, I think the proof is in the pudding. In my actions, not my words, not what I say.
I mean, maybe, but I'm sure that state will be saying, well, I can't comment on that. I can't comment on that. I can't comment on that. So it'll be a short address, right? Anyway, but thank you very much for being my guest for 3 episodes. Okay?
I appreciate it.
Join me tomorrow morning in the Buzz. It's less 63. It's good night for now.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&D.